Preacher Boy Inc.
Who defines success? Who told you making it to the NFL? Who told you making it to the NBA or signing to a major record label? Who told you that having more degrees than a high fever is the pinnacle of success? Who told you that? By the end of this episode, you will know how to be successful on your level and ride your wave. Gutta And Saved, they can't stand me. Oftentimes when we think about success, we think about the person who's uber rich with materials, with possessions, and all that crazy stuff. We often think about the entertainers, the Jay-Z's, the Kanye Wests, the Drakes, the athletes, the LeBron James, the Odell Beckhams, the Steph Currys, the business moguls like the Mark Zuckerbergs, the Elon Musk, the Warren Buffetts, and the list can go on. Now, all those fellas are a success in their own right, but who defines your success? Because we all know none of us probably going to make it to their level of success where they're at as billionaires, multi-billionaires. We may not make it to their level, but we can make it to a level of success that catapults our life. For years, when I thought, when I signed my record deal, I was going to be successful. That time came and went. Then I thought, after growing my business to a six-figure business, I thought that would define my success. That time came and went too. Thinking like that wasn't bad. However, I was basing all my accomplishments and success based off what I seen other people doing. Y'all know, trying to keep up with the Joneses. Some of my goals failed, some of them succeeded, but in me, I still wasn't successful enough. Until one day, I was reading in the scriptures and I had that moment. I came across a portion of scripture that changed the direction of my life forever. Philippians chapter 4, verses 12 and 13. I know how to be brought low and I know how to abound. In any and every circumstances, I've learned the secret of facing plenty and hunger, abundance and need. I can do all things through him who strengthens me. It was that scripture that leveled me up, that took me to the next level, that changed the duration of my life forever and how I viewed success. Now, I can hear ignorant in the back saying,
"Oh, Reese, now you preaching the prosperity gospel?"
Y'all need to get your house in order.
No, I'm not. I am getting my house in order. I know the importance of getting my house in order spiritually, financially, and mentally. Now, I'm not asking nobody for no donations. I haven't never asked anybody to sow into my ministry. God has blessed me beyond my wildest dreams. By the grace of God, I'm able to work and make a good living for my family. I don't need none of y'all donation. Now, I'm not saying that is wrong that preachers do it, but I do believe that some preachers do abuse that privilege. But that's another topic for another day. I'm just here to help people understand how this portion of scripture helped me understand success in another light. True wealth is a matter of perspective. You can either view wealth from a godly perspective or a manly perspective. Most of my adult life, I've had fairly good jobs, despite not going to college and getting a higher education. In my 20s and my early 30s, I struggled financially with raising a family of 5 kids and having a wife. Living paycheck to paycheck used to stress me out. So when I got a hold of that scripture, I had a different outlook of success and money management and all that good stuff. I had to reevaluate myself and do a hard reset. Cause man, listen, it was times when life was beating me down so much. I was like, God,
you told Harpo to beat me.
But all things work together for good to those who love God. And glory wouldn't be glory without a redemption story. So I began to fix my credit. I was watching a video on YouTube and the guy said something very profound. He said, credit is attached to lending and lending determines lower interest rates. Lower interest rates equal to more money in your pocket. Higher interest rates equals more money to the lender's pocket. and they are already billionaires and millionaires. They don't need no more of your money. You need all of your money. That made so much sense to me. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna let my brother Sean Slaughter explain it to you in a little bit more detail in this graphic chart. Roll the clip.
I want to show you how powerful an interest rate is when it comes to buying your house. For a $360,000 house, your mortgage payment is going to be $1,667. It means that at a 3.75 interest rate, you can only afford a $360,000 house. At a 2.75 interest rate, you can afford a $400,000 house. And look at this. The payment's going to be $40 cheaper. A $360,000 house versus a $400,000 house might be an extra bedroom and bathroom, extra square footage. Like, you literally can afford a bigger house with more amenities in a better neighborhood simply because the interest rate is 1 point lower, 1 percentage point.
In that chart there, he broke it down in the mortgage, but that same interest rate chart applies to personal loans, car loans, business loans, credit cards, etc. Anything that has to do with lending you money that people going to require some interest rates on. But you can determine how much interest they get by having a great credit score. If your credit score is bad, you're more of a liability, so they're going to hike up the interest rate. The better your credit score is, you're not a liability, so the better interest you're going to get. But some people may say anything above an 8% for a car loan, you might end up paying 2, 3, even 4 times for that car in interest alone. You ever had a loan that you was paying on for years? And one day you feel like, man, I'm gonna get them a call. I know that I'm almost done paying off this loan. And then to your surprise, they tell you, you pretty much didn't even scratch the surface. You still got a long way to go. You wanna know why that happens? Because you spent all that time paying on the interest and not the principal. Low interest rates are very important. That determines how much money you can save and how much money you give into these corporations. You just giving them your money. Banks love folk like you. This is why fixing your credit is one of the most important steps in this process. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. The second thing you want to do is structure a budget. Now, if you're a lot like me, I ain't know the first thing about budgeting. I would get on YouTube, look up videos, and man, I have to look in the videos. I was left more puzzled and confused than anything, because a lot of the videos that the people was putting out, they were good videos, but my brain wasn't registering and calculating what they were saying. I in hopes in this part of the video of budgeting to help you understand what budgeting look like for dummies. I'm gonna simplify it for you. The first thing you want to do is download Microsoft Word. Now, there's other apps out there and tools out there you can use, but Microsoft Word worked for me and simplified it for me. The second thing you want to do is get the 2 last months of your bank statements. You can go in your bank, you can download it, however you want to do it. You just need the last 2 months. This is what I call the weed and seed process. Go through your bank statements, compare them, see what you spent 2 months ago to what you spent last month, compare what you're spending. If they look the same, if you're eating out too much, weed it out. The unwanted subscriptions, weed them out. Excessive shopping, weed them out. Anything that's not a necessity, weed it out. In this process, you have to be strict and strategic in order to go to the next level. Then you want to open up Microsoft Word, right? They have templates that you can use for a budgeting chart. Find which one that you like. You know, they all pretty much work the same. Just find one that fits your liking. Then find a column that says monthly income. You know how much money you make. You know what you get in a month. Calculate all your monthly income up and put it in that column. Then there's going to be other columns that's going to read rent, electric, light, water bill, car insurance, car note, all that stuff. Now, this is where you're going to have to go back to your bank statements and look at all the stuff that's necessities. Of course, you got to pay your rent, your car, your insurance, all the stuff that makes your house function. Yeah, your light, your water, and all that good stuff. You want to put it in the columns. You want to make sure that, the numbers are accurate. Then after doing that, what's dope about Microsoft Word, they will calculate all that stuff up. And it's going to let you know whether you're overspending or you're under, you're good. And then that can determine how much money you can put up and start saving. Now, if you're over budget, you got to start weeding out more. Start taking out more. The whole goal is to get you to start saving money. That's why I say this part right here, it has to be very strict and strategic. You have to weed and seed. That's where you're going to grow. Now, it is a little bit more detailed than this, but for the sake of time, it can get very boring. And I don't want y'all to get all bored out, but if you need help with this process, just hit my email up. I'll be more than happy to assist you and put you on the right path during this process, because this process is tedious, because it's very important for you to make sure you calculating everything right and properly. Lastly, give yourself time. We live in this microwave, I want it now society, and all we're doing is self-destructing. It's not going to happen overnight. This process, I started this process when I was like 30, around 30, right? I'm 41 now. So I've been doing this process for a little over 10 years now. It worked for me. I was like everybody else, the average working man trying to take care of his family. It worked. This process worked, but it takes time and it's going to take strict budgeting. Now, people are seeing the outcome of my life now. They see, the way I live, but here's the thing. I make living on a budget look real good. What I buy is what I can afford. Always remember that. But anyway, like I said, it's not going to happen overnight unless you come into some type of inheritance, hit the lottery, whatever, or you come into a lump sum of money. It's not going to happen overnight, and we're not going to wait until something like that happens. We need to get on the grind now. Put yourself on a plan. Start with a 3-year plan, a 5-year plan. This is what you want to do. Say, hey, I'm going to put up $5,000 a year. If you can put up $430 a month, that's roughly around a little over $5,000 a year. If you do that over the course of, let's say you put yourself on a 3-year plan, you will have a little over $15,000 saved. If you do it a 5-year plan, you will have a little over $25,000 saved. Now I can hear ignorant in the back saying now,
Well, Reese, $5,000 a year ain't a lot of money.
it's a lot of money to a person who ain't got no money in their bank account right now. Ain't that the reason why you watching this video? I digress. All jokes aside, also, everybody has to start from somewhere. A lot of these billionaires that you see, Mark Zuckerberg and the dude that owned Amazon and all these people, they started from somewhere with nothing. So humble yourself. Remember, this is not a sprint. It's a marathon. You have to be in it for the long run. It's not all about having money. Don't make it about money. Make it about stability. Make it about passing on generational wealth. It's not about having millions at your disposal. It's all about being disciplined with what you have. Level up every chance you get. But as you level up, your lifestyle can change. But be disciplined on the level you're on. Did you know studies say that 78% of athletes, more so NFL players, go broke 2 years after they retire? So we know it's not about having a bunch of money. It's about what you do with the money you have and how you are disciplined with the blessings you have. See, here's the thing. We all not going to be uber rich. We all not going to be a part of the 1%. We all not going to have millions of dollars at our disposal. But we can live very wealthy and disciplined on the level we on. Like that scripture says, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Make sure your priorities right. God, taking care of my family, doing what's right for others. Everything else fell in place. Live wealthy on your level. Hey y'all, this your boy Reese Johnson. This is another episode of the Gutta And Saved podcast, and you already know they can't stand me. I stay dropping the facts, I stay bringing the truth, and if it's in the headlines, I'm bringing it to you. Do something for Gutta And Saved podcast today and go cop up some merch. This here is that Gutta Silver. This is the crew neck shirt. We got it in men and women sizes. Go to gasmerch.com. gasmerch.com. We got the hottest gear out right now. We got the hottest merch. Ain't nobody topping us right now. Y'all see it. Y'all see it right there. Thank y'all for rocking out with me. It's your boy Reese Johnson. I holla at y'all on the flip. Peace.
I'd say that was a pretty successful broadcast.
Gutta And Saved, they can't stand me.